One of my professors in theology, who later became a bishop and a very fine one, he used to use this image, and it's very simple, and I much like it. He said, your soul or your heart, whatever, the depth of your being. He says, imagine yourself like a deep, deep ocean, okay? There are places where the ocean is 6 miles deep, okay? And where the ocean's that deep, like your psyche, your heart, he says, there can be a huge difference between the surface and the depth. See, sometimes the ocean, on the surface, it is choppy, and it'll break ships into half, and underneath, it's calm, solid, and still, and vice versa. Sometimes the surface is real still, and underneath there are currents that'll break you in half. That's the way our psyche is. Sometimes I can keep it together on the surface. I don't think about things, but then underneath, deep currents happen. People like Ruth Burroughs, they let the surface be choppy. When they're frustrated, they're frustrated. When they're sexually tense, they're sexually tense. When they're angry, and then the bottom stays still. Remember that wonderful line in Paul in 2 Corinthians. When he wrote 2 Corinthians, he was really undergoing a dark night. This was a very low time in his life, both ministerially and personally. Remember how he begins this book? At one point he says, right now, he says, my outer life is completely falling apart. He said, but inwardly I'm solid. Never been more solid in my life. See, sometimes it's the opposite. My outer life is perfect. Inwardly, I'm falling apart.